What is going on, guys? Welcome to our nightcap fantasy sports insight NFL showdown breakdown here with the Washington football team and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you have not gotten a chance to check out our other two videos for today, go ahead and check those out. If you are looking forward to the videos for tomorrow, be on the lookout. They might already be up on the channel. I am not sure, but hopefully you cash today in the first two games, or you will. And if you are new to the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. We are super excited to continue to bring you this free content for NBA. I'm going to be doing NHL. We have tons of sports content out there. If you want to check out my New Year's resolution video with one of our subscribers, just talking about tips to win in 2021, go ahead and check that out. So let's get into the slate. This one is a little bit lopsided. Actually, a lot of it lopsided. I apologize for my shirt. It looks like it's giving you some like glow on there. So maybe pay attention to the screen and not so much my shirt. But yeah, the Tampa Bay Bucs are 8-point favorites. So we're looking at more than a touchdown favorite here. And the Washington football team is with Alex Smith likely playing, but in possibly a limited role and possibly some quarterback rotation, which again is just in terms of considering paying $9,000 for somebody like him. So let's get into the builds. We know that we want to probably stack the Bucs. We will need to look out for injury news on Mike Evans, who's listed as a game time decision. You know, there was times that they thought he wasn't have a chance to play. I kind of just prefer him to sit. And then even though they've kind of already price adjust Godwin all the way up and Antonio Brown. So Tom Brady, lock him in your lineups. I think everybody will play him, and they should play him in cash. There's no reason not to play him. So lock him in. Then it gets into the Godwin, Evans, Antonio Brown dilemma. I think what we've seen out of Godwin the last 3 weeks, even with a healthy Mike Evans, gives you the comfort that he is likely going to be your best option, and honestly has been phenomenal all season and really consistent, and just has a higher floor due to the rate in which he's catching balls, short passes, and things like that out of the slot. 10-2, normally I wouldn't be really that comfortable with somebody like Chris Godwin at 10-2. But I think relative to the other things that we want to pay for on the slate, I think Godwin is in play. I don't think he's a lock at 10-2. If Evans is in, I think you would consider him. I consider him a little bit more GPP because he usually like is just can be more touchdown dependent or long play or big play dependent. And if he is still not 100%, it makes me think there's a more of a likely chance that he is not catching as many deep balls. I don't know. Maybe it's just like totally just a mindset thing. But if somebody's not fully healthy and they're really dependent on touchdowns and big plays, that makes me a little bit worried. But I just hope he's out and then we don't have to worry about him, or they say he's limited or not going to play that much. Then you have Antonio Brown last 3 weeks. 11 catches for 14, 11 catches on 14 targets for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns against Atlanta, who obviously is awful on defense. Ripped up Detroit, ripped up Atlanta. So those last 3 games are a little bit hard to put a ton of stock into. They get a much tougher defensive matchup here against Washington. But I do think at a price discount, if Evans is out, I can see you just jamming in those 3 and going with that. I do love Rojo at 7,200. I think the price is too cheap. The matchup is not great against Washington's defense, but I think it's been pretty clear by Arians that he is going to be the guy that they're going to try to get involved the most often. And no, he's not going to catch really any balls out of the backfield. So that part I don't love. But and we'll talk about Fournette here in a little bit. But 7,200, still seems too cheap to be the lead running back on a team that's an 8-point favorite. Yes, they have Tom Brady, and yes, they'll continue to throw the ball. And they've kind of shown that the last 2 weeks, like they're winning, but they just keep chucking the ball. So, I don't think Rojo's a lock at 7,200, but I think he's a really nice play for his price per dollar compared to his role and his projection. So then you get down here to Gronk at 5,800, who's been Really hit or miss the last, I don't know, 4 weeks, it looks like. Yeah, 3 of those weeks under double digits. Went over against Detroit with only 2 catches, but both were for touchdowns. I do think there's a little narrative with him here. Like I think in a playoff game, a meaningful game, Brady and him might have some little connection that I don't know. Just it's just like a gut feel that I think he scores a touchdown. But 5,800 is viable. But I think you go down for 1,200 cheaper, you're getting a much higher floor and still a decent ceiling in somebody like Leonard Fournette, who obviously has been really actively involved in their passing game. Can easily get to like double digits without scoring a touchdown, just getting like 3 to 4 catches, rushing for 30 to 50 yards. So I think he's a great play at 4,600 too. And while I always do love my kickers, like somebody like Suckup, I think there is enough upside in Fournette with a similar floor projection that I think I prefer Fournette for the price difference of 800 over Suckup. If you don't have that 800, Suckup is fine. If Evans is out, you would see somebody like Miller probably get an increased role, potentially Tyler Johnson. Cameron Braid at 1,800 is really like he can catch it. He's been on the score sheet, every game the last 4 weeks. So, at 1,800, if you want him to catch one ball and give you 2 points because that helps your lineup, sure, go ahead. After that, the value is not really that great at all for Tampa Bay. So let's get on to the Washington side. As I mentioned earlier about Alex Smith's injury, he's the most expensive player for them. Obviously, you see the questionable tags on all these guys. But Alex Smith at 9,000, if there is a sliver of chance that he is going to be rotating at quarterback, I do not want to pay 9,000 for him. Another thing is I prefer his pass catchers. Look at this. Last week, 22 completions, but only 162 yards. This week, he had 19 completions for only 149 yards. We know he's throwing it short. And who's he throwing it short to? Usually McKissick or Logan Thomas, Scary Terry. All these guys are catching balls that are short and then trying to do something with them after them. We know that Alex Smith didn't have arm strength when he was healthy before his major injury. So I think that's kind of what you're targeting here, because they should be losing in this game, whether it's Alex Smith or Heineke in the game. I think they're going to be dumping it off to guys like Logan Thomas and McKissick. And Thomas and McKissick are probably my favorite 2 options here. And McKissick is priced at 5,400. McKissick is priced at 5,400 in a game that they're expected to lose by 8 points. Lock him in. I'm playing him. He's a better option than Fournette. He's a better option than any kicker. He's a better option than Gronk. There you go. You have one Washington player that I just gave you that I will be playing. After that, Cam Sims, I think he had a really good game last week, or a decent game. Yeah, he's been pretty consistent as well. Again, there's some nice in a lot of these showdowns this week. Typically you find I don't like the 4,000 to 5,000 range because they're usually GPP, low floor, high, maybe a touchdown upside play. But these guys actually have floors. McKissick is obviously a great play at that price, but Cam Sims has a floor and then obviously has like a double-digit upside. Hopkins is definitely in play. I just don't prefer in an 8-point dog game. If they keep it close, he could get there. But, if it gets too out of hand, they got to start going for it. They're not wanting to kick field goals. It's not really a great situation. Sims Jr. Is also a viable punt here at 1,200. Again, if they're losing, there's a higher likelihood that they will be rotating and getting those receivers in the game. Peyton Barber would be the backup. And if for some reason Antonio Gibson misses, he'll be pretty chalky at that price tag if he's assuming more of a lead back role. And for me, I'm just like, I'll just jam in even more JD McKissick and possibly using him in the captain role. Again, there, a lot of these injuries, there's some reports, but they're kind of staying hush hush mostly about what is going to go on with these guys, just because they, don't want to give away any of their secrets. Let's get into a potential build here. I think you start with somebody like Tom Brady at captain, unless you go down to who I think is a lock of the slate, JD McKissick. Then you're likely, obviously pending the Evans news. I like to get in either Antonio Brown or Godwin. I prefer Godwin if I don't have to worry about salary. And still look at how much we have to work with. You can even still get in, I like Logan Thomas too at 6,600. Okay. I'm still sitting at a super nice price point here that even if you go to somebody like Suck Up, you can get back up to Ronald Jones. You could even, oh, you can't quite get there. You'd have to go a little bit cheaper than Brady at captain, but almost getting back up to Ronald Jones is not that hard to do there at that price point. So again, hopefully, if you want my fades, I'm fading Alex Smith. That's who I'm fading. I don't want any part of him. So even if they said he wasn't having any restrictions, I just think when you're throwing that many short passes, it's more beneficial to take the pass catchers than to play for somebody like Alex Smith. And I do not think he's going to be running for a touchdown. So thanks again for listening. Hopefully you had a great day of NFL showdowns, and be on the lookout for our next set of showdown content here tomorrow on Sunday. And then we will have every playoff game covered for you at our Fantasy Sports Insight channel. This is Hold the Door DFS signing out. Thanks a lot. See you later.